Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt trapped inside your own mind? Your body is still, but your thoughts never stop moving, repeating worries, regrets, and fears again and again. Maybe you try to relax, but your brain keeps talking. You lie in bed, and your mind replays old mistakes. You sit to meditate, and new worries jump in. You start wondering, how can I stop my thoughts from controlling me? The truth is, you don't have to fight your mind. You just have to understand it. In this video, we'll explore a beautiful Zen Buddhist story that reveals how to make peace with your thoughts. Then we'll go through 13 simple, practical tips that will help you take back control of your mind, one calm breath at a time. Stay with me until the end, because the final tip will show you how to live with your thoughts, not against them, and finally find inner silence. The Zen story, the Master and the River. A young monk once went to his Zen master and said, "Master, my mind is full of noise. I can't stop thinking. I try to meditate, but thoughts keep rushing in like waves. How do I find peace?" The master smiled and asked the monk to follow him to a nearby river. They stood on the bank. The water was full of ripples. The master pointed to the surface and said, "Look into the water. Can you see your reflection?" The monk replied, "No, master. The water is too disturbed." Then the master said, "Now wait." They stood silently for a few minutes. Slowly, the wind stopped, and the river became still. "Now look," said the master. The monk leaned forward and saw his face reflected clearly in the calm water. The master said softly, "When the mind is disturbed, you cannot see truth. When it becomes still, everything becomes clear. Don't fight your thoughts. Let them settle by themselves." The monk bowed, understanding that peace doesn't come by force. It comes by stillness. Why thoughts control us? Our thoughts are not the problem. Our attachment to them is. Research suggests that the average person has approximately 6,000 to 6,200 thoughts per day. Most of them are repetitive, arising automatically, like clouds passing through the sky. But problems start when you believe every thought is true. When you identify with them, they control your emotions, actions, and mood. For example, a thought says, "You're not good enough." You believe it and feel small. A thought says, "What if I fail?" You believe it and freeze with fear. The Buddha taught, your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own thoughts, unguarded. But once mastered, no one can help you as much, not even your father or your mother. So the goal is not to stop thinking. That's impossible. The goal is to stop being controlled by your thoughts. Let's explore 13 practical Buddhist and Zen-inspired ways to do that. Tip 1. Watch your thoughts like clouds. Imagine sitting under the sky and watching clouds float by. You don't chase them, and you don't stop them. You just watch. Do the same with your thoughts. When one appears, don't fight it. Just notice it and let it pass. Say silently, "That's just a thought." The more you observe instead of react, the weaker your thoughts become. That's how awareness breaks control. Tip 2. Name the thought. When a strong thought appears, fear, worry, anger, give it a name. Say, "Here's fear." Say, "Here's worry." Naming separates you from a thought. It reminds you that it's just an event in your mind, not your identity. You're not fear. You're the one seeing fear. This simple act of labeling creates psychological distance between you and the thought, reducing its emotional intensity. It's a technique used in mindfulness-based therapies to help people recognize that they are not their thoughts, but the observer of them. Tip 3. Return to the breath. The breath is the bridge between the body and mind. When thoughts run wild, come back to your breathing. Inhale slowly. Exhale slowly. Every time a thought appears, gently bring your attention back to your breath. The Buddha himself used breath awareness, a practice called anapanasati, to calm the storm of thoughts. It's simple, but it works because when you fully focus on breathing, the mind naturally quiets. This ancient technique has been scientifically validated. Mindful breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the fight or flight response and reduces mental chatter. Tip 4. Empty the cup. A Zen master once told a scholar who came for wisdom, "You're too full of ideas. How can I pour tea into a cup that's already full?" To stop thoughts from controlling you, you must empty your mental cup. Every morning, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Imagine your mind emptying, like pouring out water from a cup. Say, "I release everything I don't need today." You'll start the day lighter, with space for peace to enter. This practice of mental decluttering is similar to what psychologists call cognitive unloading, giving yourself permission to let go of unnecessary mental burdens that drain your energy and focus. Tip 5. Question the thought. Not every thought tells the truth. Many are just old fears and habits pretending to be facts. When a thought arises, ask, "Is this true? Can I absolutely know it's true? What evidence supports or contradicts this thought?" Most of the time, you'll realize it's just a guess, not reality. When you question a thought, it loses power. Awareness is the sword that cuts through mental illusions. This approach forms the foundation of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, which has helped millions recognize and challenge distorted thinking patterns. By examining thoughts objectively, rather than accepting them blindly, you reclaim your mental autonomy. Tip 6. Practice mindful walking. Sometimes sitting still makes thoughts louder. Try walking meditation instead. Walk slowly. Feel your feet touching the ground. Notice the air on your skin, the sound of your steps. If thoughts appear, don't fight them. Just bring your focus back to the movement. Walking like this connects you with the present moment. It tells your brain, "I'm here now, not lost in thought." Thich Nhat Hanh, the renowned Vietnamese Zen master, taught that mindful walking transforms every step into a meditation. He said, "Walk as if you're kissing the earth with your feet." This practice grounds you in physical sensation, interrupting the cycle of rumination. Tip 7. Create distance through writing. Your thoughts often repeat because they want to be seen. Writing them down gives them a voice and then quiets them. Keep a small notebook. When your mind races, write every thought without judgment. After 5 minutes, close the notebook and say, "These thoughts are outside of me now." This act tells your brain, the message is received. You can rest. Psychologists call this expressive writing or thought dumping. Research shows that journaling about worries and concerns can significantly reduce intrusive thoughts and improve mental clarity. By externalizing thoughts onto paper, you create cognitive space and reduce the mental load. Tip 8. Feed the mind less noise. If your mind feels chaotic, check what you feed it. Social media, endless news, and negative conversations fuel mental clutter. Just like your body digests food, your mind digests information. Feed it peace, not poison. Practice. Spend 1 hour every day without screens. Read something uplifting. Listen to silence. Give your mind a chance to breathe. When input reduces, inner stillness increases. Consider that modern humans are exposed to more information in a single day than people in the 15th century encountered in their entire lifetime. This information overload contributes to mental exhaustion and anxiety. Being selective about your mental diet is an act of self-care and wisdom. Tip 9. Don't fight the storm. When your mind becomes noisy, don't panic. It's just energy moving through you. If you fight it, it grows stronger. If you allow it, it dissolves on its own. Zen monks often meditate through storms, literal and emotional ones, to learn this truth. You don't have to control the storm. You only need to stop becoming it. Practice. When mental noise arises, sit still and say, "This is just weather in the mind." Watch it pass. It always does. This principle reflects what psychologists call acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT. The understanding that struggling against difficult emotions often amplifies them, while accepting their presence paradoxically reduces their power. What you resist persists. What you accept transforms. Tip 10. See thoughts as guests. Your mind is like a house. Thoughts are guests. Some are kind, others noisy. You can't stop guests from knocking, but you can decide who stays. When a thought knocks, open the door, smile, and say, "I see you." If it's not helpful, gently show it out. Don't serve tea to every visitor. This playful mindset changes your relationship with thoughts from fear to friendliness. The 13th century Persian poet Rumi expressed this beautifully in his poem, The Guest House, where he described welcoming all thoughts and emotions as honored guests, even the difficult ones. This attitude of hospitality toward your inner experience cultivates compassion and reduces internal resistance. Tip 11. Anchor yourself in the present. The mind loves to travel to the past or the future, but peace only exists in one place, the present moment. When your thoughts drag you away, gently return to the now. Look around you. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Notice one sound, one color, one breath. Each time you do this, you train your mind to return home. That's the art of mindfulness, coming back again and again. The Buddha taught that most of our suffering comes from dwelling in the past, which leads to depression, or worrying about the future, which leads to anxiety. The present moment is the only place where peace truly exists. By repeatedly anchoring yourself in the now, you strengthen what neuroscientists call your attention muscle. Tip 12. Accept what you cannot control. Much of our overthinking comes from trying to control everything: outcomes, people, the future. But Buddhism teaches impermanence. Everything changes, nothing stays the same. When you accept this fundamental truth, your thoughts naturally quiet. You stop worrying about what you can't control and focus on what you can, your response. Practice. Each night, whisper to yourself, "I did my best today. I released the rest." You'll sleep peacefully, not because life is perfect, but because your mind finally lets go. The Serenity Prayer captures this wisdom. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. This acceptance isn't resignation, it's wisdom. It frees you to direct your energy where it can actually make a difference. Tip 13. Meditate on space. Close your eyes and imagine your mind as a wide, open sky. Thoughts are clouds, appearing, moving, fading. Now focus on the space between the clouds. That space is you, pure awareness. When you focus on the space instead of the clouds, you realize something beautiful. Your thoughts are temporary, but your awareness is infinite. That awareness, calm, quiet, timeless, is what the Buddha called your true nature, your Buddha nature. Meditation reveals that truth slowly, softly, deeply. This practice draws from the Mahamudra tradition in Tibetan Buddhism, which teaches that recognizing the spacious nature of mind, the awareness that remains constant while thoughts come and go, is the key to liberation. You are not the content of your consciousness, but consciousness itself. The Secret of Stillness. When the monk saw the river become still, he realized something profound. You don't silence the mind by shouting at it. You silence it by observing. Stillness is not something you do. It's something that happens when you stop resisting. The more you chase silence, the louder your mind gets. The more you relax into awareness, the quieter it becomes on its own. When you stop trying to control your thoughts, they lose control over you. That's the paradox of mindfulness. Peace begins the moment you stop searching for peace. This echoes the Zen teaching of effortless effort, or Wu Wei in Taoism, the art of non-forcing. By trying to fall asleep, the harder you try to achieve mental silence, the more elusive it becomes. But when you simply observe with acceptance, stillness emerges naturally. Everyday practice for a calm mind. Let's create a simple daily routine inspired by Buddhism and Zen. Morning, start clear. Sit for 5 minutes. Breathe slowly. Say silently, I am not my thoughts. I am awareness itself. Afternoon, stay grounded. Take a 1-minute pause before lunch. Observe your breath. Notice how your food smells, feels, and tastes. Be present, one bite at a time. Evening, let go. Before bed, write down your worries. Then say, I release these thoughts. Take 3 deep breaths and sleep in peace. This small daily rhythm teaches your mind to stay balanced, not too noisy, not too numb, just present. Consistency is more important than perfection. Even 5 minutes of daily practice creates neurological changes in the brain. Research shows that regular meditation increases gray matter density in areas associated with self-awareness, compassion, and introspection, while decreasing density in the amygdala, which is associated with anxiety and stress. The deeper truth: you are not your mind. One of the greatest teachings of the Buddha is that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Your thoughts are like stories being told. You don't have to believe every story. You can watch, smile, and let them go. When you stop identifying with thoughts, freedom begins. The Buddha once said, just as a solid rock is not shaken by the storm, even so the wise are not affected by praise or blame. This speaks to the stillness that comes when you recognize yourself as the awareness behind thought, rather than the thoughts themselves. That's why monks and meditators across centuries focus on silence, because inside silence lies truth. From control to clarity. People often say, I want to control my thoughts. But control comes from fear. Clarity comes from awareness. The goal is not to dominate the mind, it's to understand it. Imagine your mind as a wild horse. If you fight it, it kicks harder. But if you hold the reins gently and guide it patiently, it follows your lead. That's mindfulness, not force, but friendship with your own mind. Once you make peace with your thoughts, even the wildest ones lose their power. This gentle approach reflects what the Buddha called the middle way, avoiding both self-indulgence and self-mortification. Applied to the mind, it means neither suppressing thoughts with harsh discipline nor being overwhelmed by them. Instead, we cultivate a balanced, compassionate relationship with our mental processes. The calm beyond thought. When you practice these 13 tips, something subtle changes. Your thoughts don't stop, but they no longer shake you. You begin to notice long stretches of silence between them. You start enjoying quiet moments more than constant noise. You walk slower. You breathe deeper. You react less. The mind that once ruled you becomes your servant. And that is true freedom, the freedom of awareness. As Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh beautifully expressed, the wave does not need to die to become water. She is already water. You don't need to stop thinking to find peace. You only need to remember, you're not the thoughts, you are the awareness beneath them. Just as a wave is simply a temporary form that water takes, your thoughts are temporary forms that consciousness takes. Recognizing this liberates you from the illusion that you must eliminate thoughts to find peace. Peace was always there, beneath the surface, waiting to be recognized. Thank you for watching this video on BodhiRipple. I hope this Buddhist Zen story and these 13 practical tips help you stop your thoughts from controlling you and guide you toward a peaceful, balanced mind. If this message resonated with you, please like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to BodhiRipple for more Buddhist wisdom you can apply in real life. And don't stop here. Explore our other videos for more stories and insights on mindfulness, peace, and self-mastery. Until next time, remember, you're not your thoughts. You are the calm awareness that watches them come and go.